नहीं. Hello everyone, welcome to Bootcamp 2020. Today's class we will do some live coding. Today it's going to be me and Zeeshan. Zeeshan will not be joining us today. So Zeeshan, do you want to add anything?
Just that, as we have discussed last time, that we'll continue with the animation, web animation API, and we'll implement the sample, which requires few things to be considered. So let's start with the direct implementation, and we'll see.
Okay, sounds good. Let me. Just a second. Can't find my. Here we go.
Screen sharing not working?
Yeah, it's stuck. Okay, here we go. So we're working on project, where is it? 4A right now. And what we have to do is this code demo here. So we needed to come up with the UI like something like this. This has a lot of things in it. We can I had a choice either to copy the whole thing or to try and build something else. So I think instead of just doing the same thing, we can try another example. And in it, we can do something a little bit differently. So because this is available and anybody can go and just look at this. So what we'll do is a different implementation of something else, kind of like this. And we'll do it with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So let's see here. Let me open up a new window. And we're just having a new folder. It's just a basic file, so we don't need to do the React create React app. So let's just create a project for a folder, and we'll do all of our code here. So GitHub project 4A. And there's nothing here, so we'll just create a couple of files. We'll need an index.html for all of our HTML code. We can have a main.css to put all of our CSS, and maybe a main.js file to keep all of our JavaScript code. Right, so if we get started now, what we can do is we can start with the basic HTML document template, and we can call this a animation app maybe. Okay. What I had done was previously I was just getting some images. Maybe we can use the same ones. I'll copy the images folder here, and all it is just some images here. I don't need this guy.gif actually. And so if we look here, I have a image of a bird here. It's a GIF, so it's like an animated thing. I have some clouds, some more clouds. I have another bird animated, and then I have something I named my bird. So what I'm going to do is, instead of having Alice running, I'm going to have a bird flying. So what we'll need in our HTML to contain all of these different things, we can have a wrapper, div called wrapper, which will contain everything that we'll be coding right now. And now what we need is, oh, we can also, since we created the CSS and the JavaScript file, we can add those here. So let's add the CSS file here. Source, it's file sheet, right? href main.css. And then we need the JavaScript file here. Where's my source main.js. So now we've linked our CSS and our JavaScript. Now we can continue with the HTML code. Let's just make sure our CSS is working. Okay, so here we go. All right. So in our wrapper, now what we'll do is we can add a couple of our elements here. So what I'll do is I'll create a div for my bird. I'll call it my bird. And inside of this div, I'll add an image. And this image will be in my images folder called my bird. I'm gonna move this here so I can access. So I have a GIF kind of thing here. Now let's update our CSS a little bit. I don't need this. So we have we can style our body, and we can have it as a width 100%, height 100%, and then our wrapper dot wrapper dot wrapper, same thing. We have this. Now, in what else do we have in our code? Index. Okay, so we've added our bird, and what I want is to have it in the center. We're not really going for responsive that much right now. We just want the animation stuff working, so we can just I'll just go off this my bird class and can say I want to place it actually yeah, so my bird class, I'll put it and I'll give it a height and a width. I'll just give it a width. Let's see, 100 pixels, what it looks like. They're already 100 pixels. Oh, that's a div, sorry. So and to do this, I'll just do left 50%. Where does that put it? Div class, my bird. Hold on. Position absolute. So 50% is a bit too much. Maybe 35%, because it has a margin in here. I think the image size, it has some space on the left. Okay, and then maybe I can move it down from the top a little bit. So okay, that's close to the center. That's fine. So that's our bird. That will be. We'll keep this static, and we'll in this example, what we'll do is we'll move the background, not the foreground. So our bird is there. Now what we have to do is add our background as well. Let me apply a background color as well. So in my body, I can apply a background color. I had picked out a background color here. I'll just apply it here. This should class wrapper. Why isn't it showing up? So we have our background color, and we have an eagle flying. So it's like a sky there with no objects right now, just a little eagle flying. Now we can add some more objects. So let's add a background. So this will contain our background elements, and I had picked out some images here. So we can have an image for cloud1.png and cloud2.png. So we have a couple clouds, and then maybe add a couple of more flying objects. So I had bird 1 and 2. Bird2.gif. So here we go. So we have some clouds and we have some birds. All right. Now, what I'll do is I'll give these IDs. I'll call this class, or I'll call this cloud 1. This will be cloud 2, bird 1, and bird 2. And then in my CSS, I can apply the styles for cloud, I think it's cloud 1 and cloud 2. and then bird 1, and then bird 2. These are my 4 objects I just added. I'll give them all a position absolute, and then place them out throughout the page. So cloud 1, I think, is this one. So I can maybe adjust the size a little bit. Then I'll keep it at the top. And then from the left, I'll keep it maybe 5%. Okay, that's a bit small. 100 pixels, still small. 400, better size. And then let's do similar kind of thing for cloud 2. I'll move it I'll move it on this side somewhere. Call it maybe 80%. And then I think that cloud is bigger as it is. So 300, and then we'll move it down a little bit. Right, so we have a cloud up top, a cloud here, and now we have to also take care of these birds. So bird 1, oh, bird 1. So there it is. I can move it down further. I can make it maybe at 60% further here, and then left, maybe move it not that far away, maybe keep it at like 60%. All right, that's a bit too much. 70%, and then make it smaller. It should be smaller than the eagle, right? Smaller. Is that fine? And then the other bird I have to deal with. This one we can just move it left maybe 15%. That's too small. I think that's a toucan, right? The toucan's a bit bigger. 300 pixels. I think that looks acceptable enough for this. Is that all right, Zeeshan?
Yeah, when it will animate, it will show better.
Yeah. So this is like the static position, right? And now what we want to do is we want to animate all of these objects. So what I want is when I click basically anywhere on this page, what I would like to happen is um, the effect I want to give is this eagle speeding up. So the way we can do it, one way is the way this app does it is if you click on it. So they're using like more. They have better animations being used here. I didn't have something like that available. What happened here? I think a lot of the things disappeared. Let me refresh it. Here, yeah. So they have a lot of different objects. What we've done is instead of having the chess pieces, we've added these clouds and some birds. Uh, but what happens here is, see, this animation is a much better animation because it has, if you click on it, you're able to see the different steps in the animation. The animation I'm using is a simple GIF right now, so that's why we won't be able to get this effect. But this
Basically,
example shows
they
how.
are using the concept of a sprint where we have an image which has
Yes.
multiple states, and you can show from particular portion of an image at a particular point in time. So they have
Yeah.
a static image with multiple version of a particular image. So if you
Yeah.
right click on this image, maybe you can open it in a browser so you can
Uh,
see.
Here.
Yeah.
So you have different. Uh, Zishan, one thing, the question I had. See,
Yes.
if in a GIF as well, if you open this,
Mhm.
GIFs also have the different steps. If you look here,
Yes.
see,
Yes.
but these are different compared to what that is. See here.
Basically, GIF itself an image which is already animating. We don't need to do anything for the GIF.
Yeah.
So whenever you use GIF is a concept which was introduced in around in 1995, and the
Mhm.
concept was the same, that we need to have some interactivity or some animations in our page.
Mhm.
So they
Yeah.
created an image which itself animates. You don't need to do anything. So it also has multiple images, and
Yeah.
they created with the GIF. But in this example, what they did is they created a big image,
Mm-hmm.
and it has a steps. If you can see, check the feet of Alice.
Yep.
So they
They're
are
moving
changing.
in each. Yeah.
They are moving
Yep.
in
Yep.
each step. So
Yep.
the animation in this application, what they are doing is they are displaying image at particular portion of time. Let's say at the center of the screen, they
Mm-hmm.
show a first image, and they animate it. If you scale up or sorry, you translate up or down. So
Mm-hmm.
what it show you that image is changing, and what they are doing is they are doing in a steps.
Yep.
There is a
The,
in eating which we have
here.
you can do it in a step. So it just change image in a steps.
Yeah.
Uh,
This one, right?
yes. So it says in step 7.
Yep.
Generally, what we have learned with animation, that from position 0 to position 1,
Mm-hmm.
what it does is it interpolate, so all these steps are converted like we have done with the color. So from red to green, it just change the color in a sequential way. When you are in step position, so it just flip the color, or you can say just turn the color. So from the red to green, there will be some step between, maybe light gray, light blue. So it will show you in stepwise. That's why this image is different than what we are using in GIF.
Yeah. Okay. So, but if so, for example, this GIF,
Hmm.
um, if instead of having multiple images, all of these were put together in one big image, then we could use it the same way,
Yeah, then we can use it that same way.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So okay. So for now, though, we'll go back to this. But I just wanted to make that clear for everybody.
Yes.
Okay, so now what we've done is we've created the basic page structure. We've added all of the different objects. Now we have to make it move. So because right now it's a GIF, it's already been animated. I can't really change the animation on this, but what I can do is I can move the background. so so that's what we'll do is we'll keep this stationary and we'll move the background uh, b- because in this example, I think they were doing it the other way around.
They are
Uh,
doing two things. They are
yeah,
moving the image, and
yep,
also they are moving the
background.
elements of, like these
Yeah.
components.
So all of the background and all of the other images are moving to the left, while this image scales vertically, right? Or it's
Transform.
transforming,
Translate.
right? It's moving up and down from that from this in this. It's showing different versions, different steps in this series. So because of the GIF, we don't really have to go and do this part. But what we do have to do is move the background. So that's what we'll do now in our JavaScript file. So we can come to our JS file. Okay, here. So I'm just going to refer back to I've coded this here so we can move along here instead of taking extra time. So what we're doing is we want to move our background. And to do this, we want to set the frame. So we've created a variable here, uh, which to help us animate the background. Where is it? Yeah. So when we do the dot animate function, we give it the frames and the timings. So for this, we've created two variables here. One for the frame, which sets the frame of the background, and then the timing. The duration, it has the duration and how many iterations we want, and the speed at which it plays. So we'll get this here. So now we have we have created two variables here for the frames and the timings. Then now what we have to do is we have to animate the background. So first we have to get the background, and we can do this by uh, fetching it from the main HTML page. So if you look at our index code, the background div has a class background. So we can use this to retrieve it from our document. And what we can do is document dot get element by ID and provide background. So this will get this div. Uh, Now we get back, and then we're saving it into a variable so we can recall it easier instead of having to fetch the whole image, the whole div every time, right? That's done. Now we want to animate the background. So the way that it's done is we've created a variable called background movement, which is the illusion that the background is moving, which basically just transforms it and moves the objects to the left. And what we want to do is inside of this, we want to store, we want to call the background.animate. So we're animating the div. So background.animate. And we want to give it two arguments, the frames and the timings, right? So scenery frames and scenery timing. This. And then here we're getting, we're setting the time. So the background movement, which is this, so basically the animate function on our background, and we're calling the current time method here. We're setting this value to, we're getting the timing from inside the background movement object, right? And then we're updating the duration here at half the speed. So this helps us set the background movement. Now, what we want to do is make it, if I go back to my app, where is it? Yeah. So what we want to do is add a function. So what we want is when we click on this, we want it to go fast. Why isn't it moving already? Did I miss something?
These are moving, not the clouds.
Yeah, why not?
So cloud will not move because we have not started the animation, or we
Yeah.
have.
We haven't called the background movement, right?
No, background movement dot animate will start the animation.
Yep. So we're
Sorry.
here. We've done all of this stuff now. Did I miss something? Background movement.
No, it's what. What's
I
the
think I'm.
issue?
No, no. I think I'm fine so far.
Yes.
Um, I don't need this. All I don't need, right? This was extra. I just need to make the function.
Yes.
Okay, so what I want to do is make this move and call the function as well. So we need an event listener, and we need function to make it every time we click it is called. So we'll create a function called go faster or anything, um, fly faster. We can call it. And then within that function, this variable we're creating, we'll create a function. Um, and now inside of this function, all we're doing is updating the playback rate of the background. So background movement dot playback rate, which gets the current speed of the movement, and we're multiplying it by 1.1. Okay. So this will make it, whatever it is currently the speed, it will increase the speed by 1.1. So whatever the speed is, 10% of that will be added, basically. So that's our function. And now we just need to add our event listener. So on our document, we can do document.add event listener, because we want it to be, we want this to apply regardless of where we click on the page. So we'll do document.add event listener. And whenever we click, we want to call the fly faster function. Is that it? Why aren't the objects moving still? What did I miss?
Which object?
The background?
It's not moving.
No.
Um,
Weird. Probably missed something small. Make sure again.
where we have called the JS file
Spelling,
in.
spelling. I think I misspelled it.
Okay.
No, still a problem. Make sure my spelling is fine. Background
Someone
movement.
mentioned background spelling has a mistake.
Where? I think
That's
I fixed this one.
okay. You fix this one.
Uh,
Colon does not have a problem. We can work without colon. Okay, so
what's
background
left?
movement dot document dot add event listener. So we have frames which are in scenery 100 to minus 100, 36,000. I don't need play rate. Should be one, I guess.
Nope.
And now the current time is faster background movement dot play rate m- multiply equals to. Are you clicking? Are you double clicking on this document?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I'm clicking right now.
Let's see.
Something
Maybe we have some error in. Uh,
login
yes.
in console.
Let's first see what's if it's in anything in log. Element dot by class should be used. Background has a class name, not ID.
Cannot read property animate of null at
Okay.
14. 14.
Yes, someone is saying background has a class name, not ID. So,
Oh, is that what happened? Let's see. Index.
yes.
Ah,
Okay, here we have a class.
that should fix it. There we go. So things are moving, and if I'm clicking, speeds up. This is one fast eagle.
Okay. So the Alice, the Queen race, the concept was that if you want to stay, if you want to stay on a current place, you need to keep running, and if you
Yeah.
want to move forward, you need to run more faster.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you keep slowing gradually, so that's why now in this example, as we are increasing the speed, it shows that eagle is moving faster
Yep.
and clouds are moving backward.
Yes. Clouds are actually moving backward. But if it goes really fast, it looks like clouds are moving forward actually, because it's moving so fast that it
Mhm.
looks like the clouds are moving forward. If you like at this point,
Yeah,
it looks like clouds are moving forward.
it, it what you say after some time it breaks the animation of
Yeah.
direction.
It's supersonic at this point. So, is this enough for this example, Zishan? Do we need to do anything else for this?
I guess we need to slow down the once with the interval. So once the we move it
Oh,
faster, then we
yeah.
need to slow it down.
We want to slow it down as well. So for the slowdown, we needed the interval function, right? Um, so let's see. How do we want to do this? How did they do this? They did. We don't need this. We just need the. So they said an interval function, a function called interval. Hold on. Okay. So they're calling said interval and providing a function inside of it. And what it does is it checks the playback rate. And if it's greater than a certain number or certain speed, um, it's dividing it actually because it's multiplying by something less than one. So it would slow down. Uh,
Yes.
that's what they're doing, right? And they're doing it after, what is this,
Every
3000
second.
milliseconds? Every what?
Every 3 seconds.
Every 3 seconds, yes. So this is 3000 milliseconds, right? So every 3 seconds. Okay. So we could do a similar kind of thing. What we can do is, because they were moving on the okay, so what we can do is
They
here
were trying to move the Alice, but we'll be slowing down the background.
we'll slow background. Yeah. So we'll do set interval. And inside the interval, we can call a function and say if background movement dot playback rate is greater than
Have you provided
um, what's that?
round bracket with if?
Oh yeah. If background movement dot playback rate is greater than or less than, we can say less than one.
Uh, uh, Greater than 0.4 or anything, because
They had it at 0.4,
one
right?
means normal speed. One means normal speed. More than one means you are going faster, and less than one means you are going slower.
Yeah.
So
So
we
we
need to keep it above zero point 0.4,
uh-huh.
just for the example, as example is doing.
Okay. Or do we? I think we should keep it at the normal speed, right? Because if it goes
But
faster than normal, then it would return back to normal this way, right?
we need to slow it down. So
Yeah.
if it's, let's say, whenever you are you are going to click it, it will increase the speed. Initially it will be 1, then it will be 1.1, then it will be 1.2, 1.21, then it will be 1.3 something.
Yeah.
So we
Yep.
need to as we slow it down, so we need to keep so we can do it 0 0.4, greater than 0 0.4.
Okay. And then if that's true, then we'll update the background movements playback rate,
Mhm.
and we can multiply it by a fraction value. Uh, we can maybe something like this, uh, like this, and this will update the value and
So it's a
the
simple math, although we that's not an issue. If it means that whatever the value is, it will be 90% of that. So
yeah.
it will start reducing the.
It'll decrease by 10%. So when we click, we're increasing by 10%, and when we wait for 3 seconds, it's decreasing by 10%, right?
Yes.
And then here, it's the 3 seconds is here. Um, are we good now? I think
Yes.
so. If we click a few times, it's going to be hard to visualize it. Maybe we should log the value. So
Increase. Click too much, so cloud speed will increase, and then slowly it will, and then leave it. So in a while, you will see cloud starts slowing down.
I've left it now.
Okay. And they are coming down.
Is it slowing? It's hard to
Yes.
tell.
You'll
It
see
seems like
in 30 seconds. You will see.
it. It seems like it. It seems like it that it's slowing down.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty clear now that it's slowed to a. It's slower now. There we go.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's how we've done with the set interval function. And I think what we can do is maybe because the initially I had made the birds fly lower than the eagle. Um, what happened, I guess, is because it's all in one div. Is that why it happened? Um,
Position change for the okay.
yeah, so all of these went up top for some reason. So I think it's because of the div. Because here I've made the positions.
Any relative div in this CSS? Can you check?
There's no div in the CSS.
And all are absolute.
Yep.
All the positions are absolute. Okay.
Yep.
So the div is
Maybe I need a class, a CSS for the background class. Make it 100% height
uh, we had the wrapper class where it is.
here.
Okay, so it is over there.
We don't have a background class in the CSS.
Okay, so
Maybe
maybe yeah, wrapper comma background, so it will work for both.
yeah, we can do this. Dot background. Dot background. See when I refresh it, it starts up top, bottom, but then it moves up for some reason.
So that means
Uh,
animation
Animation is doing it.
animation is doing something.
Oh, I think it's because we have transformed
No, it's
translate X.
we're doing it,
Mhm.
X or Y.
This is X. So X shouldn't affect vertical.
Mm.
Weird. I was at full battery when I sat down.
StreamYard drain up everything.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Weird.
Um, can you check the element? what you say, bird's position in browser.
The bird's position.
Yes, inspect.
Which object you want to see?
Any of the bird which are at the top.
Okay.
What did the position says?
Left 30 pixels, absolute, top 0.
Top 0.
Yeah.
Increase the top in this in window.
Here?
Yes.
Can I
I believe so. I
here, I can update here. So where did it go?
speed is too much slow. You can click few. You can have a few click. Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
No, it's not changing.
It's not changing. That means the container their container is not big enough. The
Yeah, right
container.
there. So the container is the background class, and I had made it big enough here.
What size body has? 100.
100%. Troubles of CSS, right?
Mm.
I think
Okay.
maybe we shouldn't waste time on this. We should move
Okay.
forward,
So
I think.
that's in a
Right?
CSS. So
Yeah, yep.
we can we can
I think
invest
we've
too.
achieved. We've done the main task here, right? Which was to
Yes.
animate. So, so we've learned how to speed things up with the animate functionality by clicking here, and
Mhm.
then also we've slowed it down with the based on the timing with the set interval. So those were the two main things in the Alice example, right?
Yes.
And the third thing was the image animation. Um, I didn't have another image that had something like that, so I just went with the GIF.
No
The GIF
problem.
basically does the same thing, I think, but it's we don't do it explicitly. It's just animating itself.
It-
So
It's
yeah,
it's it's what you say, doing half of our work. Some portion of our work is it's done by the GIF.
yeah. One thing we can do to change like the speed of the birds versus the clouds is to have maybe create another element,
Mhm.
one for clouds and one for birds, and then speed them differently. That
Yes, we can do that.
that could be
That's,
done as well.
yeah.
So um, so that's it for that example. Do you want to do the same thing in React?
I guess first we need to explain them how we'll do web animation with React. So
Yeah.
I'll focus on these articles Sarja has mentioned,
Okay.
so that they can understand how we will be using React animation inside the React. And if then we'll have time, so I'll move to this example. Let me just share my screen.
Zishan, I'm gonna get my charger in the meantime,
Sure, sure.
or I'll disappear.
Okay, so in Bootcamp article, the GitHub URL Sajja has mentioned the links for the React, or you can directly search over the web. But that's an easy way to find out the links for the React. Class 13 web animation React. You can have three links. Use ref, everything you need to know, and so that it is use ref, everything you need to know, and these are the three links that you need to understand what they are and what they are doing, so that you can understand how we will be using React animation inside React. So first what I did is I created the basic React application. It has nothing, and because of this article, which I'll discuss later, but this article discuss about the library of web animation recently created by an developer, which is web animation hook. So what I'm doing is I'm running the installation for the this library, and then I'll explain use ref so that we'll have meanwhile we have these what you say library installed to us. So first of all, let me check where this library is. This library is available over here. Try it yourself. This is the library. You can also access it on URL. Here is the GitHub link. You can click on it. So you will see GitHub URL for this library. And so what they did is they created this developer created a hook, use web animation hook for the animation web animation. So as we have learned hook in detail, so we know how hooks are working. In this example, what they are explaining, this yarn add direct version web animation. So we need to add this installation script in our okay. So okay. Meanwhile, this library is being installed. Let me go back to the first article, use ref. What does use ref does is basically it's again a hook which gives you the access of an element to the or you can say it gives you the access of a DOM element. Whenever you are working with the React, all your elements are in virtual DOM, and you do not have access to directly the functions or properties of the DOM element. So in this use ref, what you can do is you can access the element. Let's say, check this example. Input, it's an input element. We are creating input element ref, and we are providing input el. Before that, you can see use ref null. So whenever you call use ref null, what it does is creates a reference input el. You can put it in any variable, and then wherever you want to access that element, you say input l current dot focus. Focus is an JavaScript function which allows you to focus on text box. Let's say whenever you refresh a page or whenever you go google.com, what it does is directly your focus is in text box, so you can directly start typing. This or any other function you want to access the access for the DOM element, and in case of custom component, you want to access object of a component, so you can use ref. So let me show you first how we will be using this user thing. There is also you will also face a question that why we use ref when we have a use state available. So you must know that whenever you update a particular element or you work with a particular element which is available with use state, it updates the render of a React. So every time it updates the render method and your component keeps re-rendering. Sometimes you don't want to re-render your element or your component when you are working on a particular element or input element or something, or you are changing value to a particular element and you don't want to update or re-render your whole component. So that's where you can use the useref for one. Secondly, useref provide direct access to DOM element or an object of a particular tag you are applying on it. Whenever you apply useref on particular element. So there are two things. One, you don't need to re-render your component every time you update or do something with your element, or you need to access DOM element or DOM functions for DOM level functionality of your element. So you can use useref. Okay. So here we have the output. So nothing is special. It's just a text box. Okay. Now what I need to do is, let's say whenever I refresh the page, there is no focus. I have to click on it. So what I can do is I'll use ref input element, and what I'll do is in use effect function, we call input el. One more thing, I need to provide square bracket input dot current dot focus. So whenever I refresh page, you can see the focus directly. Cursor is blinking in the text box. If I comment this out, you don't see the cursor over here. I have to click over it. But now I can do this. Okay. So the most important thing you need to understand whenever you need to access a particular element. Let's say we have learned use state, const, well, set well equals use state. That's how we have worked with the use state, and we can what we can do is we can apply this what you say value, and we can place well over here. Whatever we will type. This is how we connect. At this moment it will not work because I need to call on change. So I'm not explaining this at this moment, but I need to explain what I need to explain is we can access the values using use state, but the problem is whenever we call set val, it re-renders the component to display values, updated values. But in case of useref, whenever I call these focus or anything related to the element, it does not re-render the component. It does not re-render the does not run the re-render first. Second, it gives you the access of DOM elements, which I repeated to quite a bit of time, but this is very important to understand. And what it does is whenever you write the ref equals and the variable name of the user, whichever useref is returned to us. So when React loads this component, React gives the current access of this instance of this element inside the input element dot current. So whenever you want to access any element, any property, any function of a DOM of that particular element, you can use input dot current dot anything available to you in HTML or in any other case. And this will work with the custom component as well. So you can do the same thing with the custom component. So this is how we use useref, and why it is important, because in animation we need a reference, as we have seen, as we have currently seen in an example Adil just built, that we need to access the element and we need to apply animation on that element. So to apply animation on that element, we need to access of that element by ID or by class should we have that particular element. That's why we need ref over here so that we can access that particular element. Now, in case of web animation with React, this article, or you can directly check this library homepage of this GitHub URL. It gives you all the detail how you can use web animation with React. So the first thing is you need to install the this library, which I have already done, and it is showing some kind of complex example, which is not that so complex, but you need to see. First, what we need to do is we need to import use web animation with this library, and important thing is you are this is a hook. It's in a React hook, so you call use web animation. It gives you few element. One is ref, another one is play state. It gives you the state if animation is running, animation is paused, animation is finished, so you will receive that in play state. Third one is get animation. There is a function whenever we need to change, as we have did Adil just a moment ago. Adil did background movement dot playback rate. So we need to update some properties inside the animation. So how we'll do this? We'll use get animation function. I'll show all this in a while. Now we what we have learned in animation is first we need keyframes, second we need timing objects. So we need two things, keyframe and timing, so that we can explain what position should be for an element from A to Z and how much time it will take, what will be the direction, ease in, ease out, all these things. And these are three functions provided by this library. The on ready and on finish are not supported in all the browser at this moment. So on update will work, but on finish and on ready will not work at this moment. And then we can show this in our example. So let me create this example. I'm removing the old input text, and let me create a div over here which says hello world. Let me give a name, class name. Let's not use the CSS. We have this div, and what we can do is we can call const. We'll see later on. Use web animation. So it's not available directly. What I'll do is I'll copy this. It's already installed in my project as I did a moment ago. Okay, so use animation. It's in a function and it requires an object inside it. So you will provide curly braces, and what it does is it returns you, gives you ref. Another one is play state. Another one is get animation, which we'll see. In this object, we need to provide keyframes, timing. So we need to provide property keyframes. In case of keyframe, if you see this example, in web animation, you can provide keyframes in two ways. One is the one we are keep doing from the last class, that we provide an array. In array, we provide object for each keyframe. Another possibility is you can see over here, you can use the transform. So you are providing animation. You are saying that background should be red, then blue, then green, and transform should be. So we instead of going this way, I'll explain you the way we are doing from last class, and we did in today's example as well. So in keyframe, I'll provide a square bracket, and I need to provide object as we have done previously. We need to transform, so I'll do transform and then translate. So initially it should be at 0px, and later on it should, at the end of the time, it should move to, let's say, 500 pixel. So it will translate to the exposition. At this moment I am just using the two frames and only transform property. Then we need to provide timing. It requires object, and I'll provide duration of 3 seconds. Nothing else, just these two things. Simple enough. And on what element this animation will be applied, which element should be animated. For that we don't need to call the get element by id. What we have to do is just place ref equals to ref. This ref will be provided over here. Okay, so let's see the output. You can see hello world is moving to. Now what I can do is I can provide the iteration to infinity, so it will keep, and direction to alternate, so it will keep running, and ease or easing, I just keep forgetting this. It's easing. You can say ease in. Okay, now let's see. You can see it's moving. Now let's see. Let's apply a few CSS. So instead of going to in separate CSS file, let me provide a style over here. And in style, what I'll do is I'll provide the background to red, and let's see. Okay, so it's because the div, it's in a div, and it's covering the whole width. So let me change width of this element. 100px height. Let's change it to 200px. Okay. Now we can see the div is moving, and we are doing this inside the React component. So use web animation. This hook provides you all the detail. You provide the keyframes, timing. It gives you the ref. So with whatever element you want to animate, whichever element you want to apply the animation on, you provide inside the ref. And then what we can do is I want to apply another animation, another style. So what I'll do is background from red to background yellow. So you can see, and the example we were talking about in LS case. So I'll just showing you the I'll be showing you ease. It will work same in normal JS, or in this case. So what you can do is in easing you can type step 4, let's say 4, and See, now it's animating, but in steps. Same there. In case of Alice example, they are doing it the same. They are moving it vertically in steps. So you have a view at the center, and you have a bigger image, but it's just moving vertically, but in steps. So you see first image, then another. That's why you see the animation, but it's not actually animating. It's animating the image. Okay, so let me remove it again. Please dash in dash out. So this is how you do the animation. Okay, play state. Play state. What play state does is it gives you the information what the state currently is. Play state animation running, and as our animation is keep running, it does not stop because we have provide the iteration to infinity. So let me say the iteration to 4. So it will do just 4 iterations. State is still running, and once it is done, it will show you the finish. So you can use the play state of an animation to find out in which state your animation currently is. Is it a playing, it is running, or it is a finished, or it's a pause, because we can use the pause function of an animation. Last thing, the get animation function. The get animation function, as we have done, let me see last week's example so you can understand it better. Mm, Last week, what we were doing is, yes. So what we were doing is shape element dot animate, and we provide frames timing inside it. It returns an object shape animate, and we can apply or call function play, pause, reverse, or whatever we want to do with the animation. We want to change or operate anything on the animation. We operate on this variable shape animate. We can call play, pause, reverse, and update playback, or whatever function we need to do. So we need this animation access. That's what this get animation gives us. It's in a function. So what we can do is, let me create a button over here. Okay, play, pause, click. Now we have this get animation function. So what I'll do is, inside this click event, I'll call get animation round bracket dot play. Get animation pause. Okay. So now we have this. It's just pause, and you can see the state is paused. Play. It's running. Pause. Play. Pause. Play. So whenever you want to control your object, it's finished. Let me play again. So it will start moving. So that's how you can what you can do is you can control the animation object. And there is anything left in this, let me check. Okay, so on update function, it returns you the state animation and the animation effect object, and you can play whenever it keeps updating. So in our case, in each frame, you need to understand that it's update each frame. So whenever each frame is being updated, this update button will be called, and you can work on particular state. So you just need to provide this. I'll show you inside the console what it does. Play state. Animate is in a function. Let me refresh it so we can see from this start. It will keep running and keep posting the animation states, and you can see too much of log, because on each frame it gives on update is being called, and it gives you three properties. Too much of a log of a single element. Okay, so play state running, animate function. It's exactly the same animate function we were using in pure JavaScript. Animation effect, the particular animation is being applied on your uh, element. There is an effect object, and which element it is being working on. So all the details are over here. So it just gives you the all the details whenever, as long as animation is keep running on update is being called. So you can do some animation or some other work on your element. So you can call on update. Anything else? Yeah, on ready and on finish will not work over here at this moment. It's not working in Chrome browser. Okay, so we have seen ref, playback control. I showed you playback control as well. Okay, and getting animation information, that's what I show you. With the get animation function, you can call update playback rate, you can call a playback rate function with animation object. What you can do is you can call the timing, which we'll see in we'll try to implement example in detail, so you'll see how it does work. And I guess that's enough with the basic understanding of this library. Yes, one thing I just remembered. This library provide you many animations as a built-in. It has many, as you can see. There are a lot of animations which this library provide as a built-in. So you don't need to worry about any of such animations, and those animations are available. Let me just. Yes, you can see in this example, it's showing that all these animations are animate.css available over here. So what we can do is, it's in a separate library, but they provide you lot of built-in animations like bounce, rubber, anything you want to do with your element. So what I'll do is, let me go to our code, back to our code, and Just comment it out for a while. Complete animation. And what we can do is in at the import we can provide which type of animation we want to use. So let's say I want to use a bounce, so I'll provide the bounce over here. And in case of I don't need all these things, instead of providing anything, what I'll do is I'll provide a bounce like this, and then ref. So I don't need to do anything and it will fail to compile. PST does not define. Okay, we have these two buttons, so I'll comment this button out, remove this button as well. PST is not defined. Okay, you can see it's bouncing. So now you have many animations available over here. There's a list of animation which you can do rotate out. So you can just call the, and you will see animation. So you can access a bunch of animations easily, and they have shown you the example over here, so you can verify these, whatever which type of animation you want to use. Shake Y, back, okay, back and left. So I can use back and left also. Show something differently over here. Let's, no problem. Okay, so that's how you will be using this library for the animation inside React. And this library helps you a lot with the animations. You can apply this animation to the example Adil has just created. So Adil, I guess you'll be posting this in GitHub so they can use this.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll
So
post it.
okay, so we are running out of time. What we can do is uh, that will be assignment, but they're working on the Alice example, right? So they can create this
Hmm.
Alice example with the React. So they
Yep,
will be using it. Let me
yep.
see if we have few questions so we can answer and then we can finish it.
There are a couple of questions here. Uh,
Yes. Why we are not creating J6 file? It does not matter. It's just a extension. So either you create J6 or JS, does not matter. It React works with both. Can you please re-explain easing? Easing is nothing. You just, whenever you are doing an animation, so what you want is element is moving from one location to another location. So what you want to do is you want to uh, instead of just stepping it and just moving back, it gives you the smooth transition. So it coming in a fast way and you want it to bit slow. So there are a lot of easing effects. So it ease in, ease out, and as I have showed steps, so you can show animation in steps. So easing is affect your animations, how your animation uh, ends, starts, or move in steps or in smooth transition. Instead of just going your rectangle moving from left to right, it stops and then it's moved. So instead of doing just stay and then move back, what it does is it shows you like a rubber. So you it just touch and smoothly move back. That's how. And there is another few styles of and easing in and out. Ref only refresh particular element. Yes, ref only work with the particular element. Move your birds. Okay, I guess these are the few. So if I guess we are done with the React animation as well, and let's see. We need to do with this example with the React also, or we just move to the some other topic next week.
So we also have to do project 4B, which is that animated website thing.
Hmm.
So either we can do that next week, or we can do the Alice app with React. Up
We
to
can
you.
do both. I guess we can start with the LS React and then we can move with the website
Okay. Yeah.
because there are a lot of elements that they need to understand with the React how we need to do animation. So
Yeah.
maybe they require it.
I think maybe we should do the React app, because I think we've done enough on the basic JavaScript today,
Yes,
right? Okay. Sounds good then. So we'll meet up on Tuesday, same time.
inshallah.
Okay,
Okay.
everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Zishan.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.